Hi, my name's Jamie. This is a tutorial on UDK Terrain and the advanced parts of it. Right, what you do is you go to, first we open up UDK obviously, then you go to Tools, New Terrain, and you just leave it as is. Press Next, no layer setup, although I had one already done, just put none anyway. And it should come up like this. If you want it to be bigger, you could just increase the scale of it to change it to, instead of 1 to 2, to double the size, but we're going to just leave it as 1 at the moment. Right, what you need to do is go to Terrain Editing Mode, or Shift+3. Basically, the main tools that people use in this is Paint, which is here, Smooth, the Flatten, and the Average, and Noise, and Visibility. Visibility, just show you a bit of visibility, just gets rid of one bit, so if you don't want to, like, not really much point in using this, so just put it back in. Right, if you use, just show you Paint, no, actually before we do this, we'll create a light dominant, directional light. By doing that, you just add actor, and it should be here. All templates, and it should be there. Add light dominant, directional, light movable. Or if you don't, if it's some reason it doesn't show up there, then you can just go to the content browser. No, sorry, not content browser. Go to View, Browser Windows, and Actor Classes, and you get a list of options. You can have Camera Actor, Player Start. A fluid, that's for creating water effects, so if you shoot it, it'll basically like realism of the interaction of the water, but you don't want that. You want a light, directional. There's a spotlight or a skylight. Skylight is basically the overall lighting of the 3D space, which how darkened or how light you want it to be, like the environment. But directional light is basically where it picks out a point from a certain spot, and it'll direct light from that spot onto the terrain or the area that you're using. But for this we use a dominant directional light movable, and I've got one in the level, so I don't need to put it in again. Let's just lift it up for now. If you rotate it, you can sort of see it affecting the terrain a bit more. You can't see it from that way. But what we do is to actually show it off a bit more. We'll go back into the terrain editing mode. We'll go into the content browser first. We'll get a material well, we'll just find this material. It's called moss lump, but for some reason it's not finding it for me, so I'll just quickly find it again. Bear with me for a second. I'll find it. Oh, I think I might have found it. Nope, for some reason it ain't showing up. Oh, yeah, just like moss. It's a, oh right, that's because it's a material instant constant. You don't need materials, you just use that one. I've got two of them. I've got one in my package just so I know where it is easier. Should look there first really. You click on that, make sure it's selected. Cross out of it. It'll keep it selected even if you cross out of it. You right click the height map. You choose New Terrain Setup, Layer from Material, Auto Create. And what it does, it automatically creates it, whatever's first. If there's like a list of them, it will choose whatever's first there to be the priority, and it will set that as the overall texture of the terrain. Right, now to show you a bit more of the lighting, we'll increase the radius of the brush, and we will lift up terrain. Looking from the detail lighting See if that comes out a bit more. No. Well, we'll just leave it as on this one first. Right, just that's basically what the paint does. It lets you with the for some reason it was doing it with that. I'm not sure why. It should normally what you have to do is make sure you selected the height map. Ah, it's better. It comes fast now because I think it had a bit of malfunction there. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, you see that creates a sort of like mountainous environment. What you don't want is all like the sharp points, as you can see here and like over there. So what you use is the smooth tool. You smooth it down a bit. If you don't want too much of it to be smoothed down, change the strength of it to 50. Keep radius as it is, and it won't do it so much. It's basically just increases the speed of it going down. So it'll be easier if you don't want it to go down that much. Change the strength of it down to 50, or even lower if you wanted to. But right now, the what we do to shaft is the average tool. Averages out from like top, so like really high to like low. It will like average it down, like create like some sort of pathway. So what we'll do, we'll create a really high point up here. It's quite big. Let's move out a bit more. Yeah, so you can see it's like really high. And then you create the press the average tool. What we'll do is decrease the radius size a bit. It's a bit better. And what it does is I didn't really come out right, but it smooths it all down, but going down as well. So if you like start from the high end or even the low end, it will just basically work its way up to create a pathway. Wait, let's do this a bit better because this isn't very great. Let's just create a high point. Or what you could do actually, you make it a bit easier. You use the flat tool, and what it does is basically just just flattens it. As you can tell, it's flat, but still, it just basically whatever what position it is. So if you do it from as you can tell, the little dot, the red dot at the top, is the height bit. So and if you hold Control. So yeah, hold Control and left click to do any of this, by the way, to use all the tools. And basically if you hold Control and left click and move it, it'll create a flat surface from that specific height point. And obviously it doesn't look right sometimes when you're looking like that, it's all straight and curvy, but obviously that's where the smooth tool comes in. You just smooth it off a bit, a bit more better. And what you can do from there, from the top bit there, work it way down. Just, as you can tell, that it smooths it down, some sort of like pathway up here, and then back up again, just to smooth it. So if you wanted to have like hills and then have like a certain pathway going up to that bit in a, I don't know, RPG sort of game, be best choice to use. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. What you would like to do now, let's move it down a bit because it looks a bit rubbish. Now this looks all great, but what would look really nice is if you had some trees or bushes or grass. So what we do, we go to static mesh or assets, type in tree. Which one should you use? You don't want that one because that's all eliminated my testing. Let's try just try that one. Right, now you go back into your terrain editor mode. You right click height map, new deco layer. Let's call it tree. and it should come up there. Yep. Now if you do anything, it won't actually appear anywhere because you haven't. Oh wait, it didn't work out right. Wait, first of all, go into the properties, go to terrain, deco layers, it should be 0, and you go to decorations and click on the little green arrow here, add item, factory it should say, speed tree, I'm not really sure which one. I'm going to stick with static mesh for just now. Density 0.01 starts off with, I don't know why it started off with 0.01, normally it starts off with 0 all, but for some reason just help me out here a bit. Minimum and maximum scale, basically when you create a load of trees or bushes, you don't want all of them to be the same size because it just looks like quite consistent and boring really. You want to have like a range of sizes, so I'm not really sure what the scale of the tree is, so I'll just stick with 1 and I'll stick with maybe 4 on the maximum scale. Density keep as 1 and leave it as that for now. I'll go back into your thing and then you should have, it's not coming up. Normally when you click this little arrow here, it comes up with the actual static mesh that you use. Click on paint. Why isn't it doing it? Just quick try something, see if this works. No, for some reason. Not sure why this is doing this. Just give me 2 seconds because this is playing up. Once I've sorted this out, I'll resume. Hi, I'm back. Yeah, it was just a minor fault, and I forgot to do something. What you have to do when you create a new when you create a new deco layer, you have to make sure with the static mesh selected in the content browser, you right-click the new deco thing. 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. The phone went. Alright. Yeah, basically just right-click that and add select decoration, and it'll basically add the tree to your little layer. Right, and then you go into properties. Obviously, you do what we just did. Minimum, maximum scale. I've got to do it again because it didn't come out right. Maximum scale, I'll do 4. Density, just do 1 for now. Cross that out. Press a little cross. Sorry. Click. Make sure you got paint selected. And for some reason it ain't coming up. Let's do change all that up. Oh, whoa, that is really big. Right, you don't want that. Let's just change. Go back into the properties. Change that to, just give it 1 at the moment, so I'll show you how it works. Yeah, as you can see, obviously it's outside the thing, but it's just because it's touching that. You obviously don't really want that to happen. So, yeah, I've added trees into this bit now. Makes a bit more of a proper environment, to be honest. What we will do, then what you can do after you've painted your terrain, you can then decrease the density. Just do change to 0.1. That was a bit much. 0.5 maybe then. No, I'll say 0.3. Sorry about this, just messing around. Try it out a bit more. Well, there it is anyway. Well, you don't need to go mad. It's just make it a bit more decorative. Sorry, smooth this out a bit because it looks really. I'll tell you what, let's go and add some little grass stack meshes. Yeah, grass clumps. Try which one? This one. make sure it's selected. Again, right click the height map, new deco layer, let's call it grass now. Right click that again, add selected decoration, go to properties. Now this is a smaller static mesh to this, so you can increase the size a bit. Let's get rid of the 0, because 0 would be the first layer, which would be tree. 1 would be obviously the grass. I tell you there anyway, that name, tree and grass. So open this back up, minimum scale of 1, and then like 2, density scale 1, rotation, select rotation blend, I don't know, just do 1, random seed, just do 1. I think it randomizes the what it looks like when you place it. Not sure about that. Let's try adding them in now. Yeah, you can see it, they're adding to the terrain. It's not that noticeable, it's because the size of the static mesh isn't quite right. Let's increase it to like 5 and 10. There we go, that's much better. Oh wait, let's see what, let's increase the density to about, I'd say 5. Yeah, it looks much better. And then you can sort of play around the terrain a bit more, make it a little bit more of a scenery. Like say this is like a bit of the side of a rock, it could be. Wait, so this bit here. So what you can do, just add in, I don't know, a rock texture, a rock material. Oh, no. Let's choose a good one. What would be a good one? Try that one for now. It looks kind of like a cliff one though, but doesn't matter for now. Right click again, new terrain, set up layer from material. Right, had it selected. Yep, let's come under there. Now you need to do is just reduce the size a bit. So there you go. Sort of creates like a side rock bit. So it varies your terrain, makes it more sort of like a realism bit, and that's pretty much to it, to be honest. Just go and test this out. Make sure you build all, but I'm going to do, I don't really want to do the light mass thing because it takes too long. Pass needs to be rebuilt, let's do that. This one up here, build pass, right click for partial build, just left click for now. Sorry, 1 second. Already that looks alright, looks quite smooth. The only thing is they're quite close together, so the shadowing is going to be affecting it a bit much. And I'll tell you what, let's add a bit more to this, shall we? Let's type in Skydome in the content browser. UDK has some assets already ready for people to use. So like, if you want to just mess around with their assets, like a good one to use is this one. So creates a Skydome already. Obviously, if you don't like that texture on the Skydome, you can mess around with the textures in Photoshop and create your own one. It's just a brief example, brief tutorial. And I'm going to add in something. This is just something I've created just to make it a bit more. Makes it a little bit much better. If I can find it. I'll tell you what, no, we won't use mine. We'll just create one ourselves. Go into View, then go Browser Windows, and then go to Actor Classes. Go Fluid. This is for the water, by the way. The outside water. Fluid Surface Actor, Movable. Drag and drop into the level. Now, it won't have any texture on it, because there's no material applied to it. What you do then, you go to water, go to materials, or material instance fluid, it's got quite a nice water material to it. Anything is, it's quite small, so it's just this is basically this little tool up here, allow translucent selection. Basically, any material that has a translucent setting, like see-through, you can't like select it. But if you have this thing up here selected, that means you can select. So basically, if you have like a problem with UDK and for some reason you're finding it hard to try and select your object, or your object with that specific material that has a translucent setting, then make sure you press that. Otherwise you won't be able to. You'll be like going mad trying to create I don't know, move it or something. You will go crazy. Right, select it. Let's move it down a bit. Put it in there. What you want to do, you don't want it in there, so you want to increase the scale. Or you could just this ain't, for some reason this ain't selecting for me, so we'll just do it this way. If you go to the scaling mode, it automatically does it for you. If you just left click it normally. Whoa, there's one big water ass texture. And that's pretty much it. It's not great, but it looks much better. Put the lighting on. So you can see it from underneath. Nice. See it from underneath. But it looks alright. It's quite nifty for creating little tiny islands or something. I don't know what you would like to create. I'll tell you what. As you can see from when you look at the outline, it looks quite. Depending on how big you don't want to make this too big, because it will scale out and the texture will look all tiled and horrible. So what you can do, if you go to View again, Actor Classes, go to Fog, or actually I'm going to use this one. I'm going to try this one because I've heard this one's quite good and it creates a good old sort of, yeah. That'll do. Anything is with the texture, you have to choose the right texture, obviously. I was like, it's good for if you're going to try and create a day to night cycle, then you would like to use this one. And if I let me just select the light dominant. Basically, anything you can't find in your level, all you have to do is just go to this little binoculars, find actors, and then you type in like a keyword in that object or asset you're using. Click on it, properties, or you can you can go to, and it'll direct you to it. If you try so when you move that specific fog changes when you move the light dominant, so it basically automatically picks it up for like a sunrise or sunset effect. See, for now it's over there now, so it'll be like, say if the sun was coming up from that direction over there, it would do a sunrise and then do a sunset, which is quite handy for creating I don't know, sceneries, nice looking sceneries. But where is the thing now? So we want it to be over there, so let's move it back over there. We don't want it to be yellow because the sky texture is well, white and blue, dark cloudy, so you want it to be sort of a foggy sort of look, so white. So let's try and find that again, that exponent, yeah, it's height fog. Right, properties, basically the opposite light colour, so that would be this up here on the underneath that is light in scattering colour. This is basically for the like sort of sunrise section, and the light blue one will be for the obviously the dark end of the 3D space. And if you don't want it on, just take it enabled. And then basically, because we were trying to create something to go with that, let's change it to a bit more like that, bit that more colour. Oh wait, the because I've moved the lighting, everything else is gone a bit skew, so you want it to yeah, that's much better. Or if you don't like that height fog, you can now go and view browse windows, actor classes again, go to height fog instead, and you can basically, it's just if you want to basically like a really foggy area, what you do then is you place it in the map, you move it up. Oh wait, sorry, because we've got this. Let's just take this out for a second. As you can see, it creates. Let's just increase the intensity. Sorry. Like if you change it to 1, complete and utter fog. So if you change it to 0.5, maybe no 0.1. No, not even that. 0.01. We're getting there. 0.001. Let's add another 0 into that. So you can get some sort of depending on how high you want it to. If you just want it along the ground, maybe like sort of like ghostly effect for like a, I don't know, some sort of scary game, or if you want it up higher to create some sort of really sort of, I don't know, whatever game you want to create, to be honest, you can change it around. But right, sorry about that. The phone keeps going off while I'm doing this. It's quite annoying. Yeah, basically, you don't need that height fog in really if you don't like. So basically, like distances. Let's just basically put that exponent fog back in. I think that looks a bit better. So you can see that it goes off in the distance. And that's pretty much it. So any questions I've got, go to my YouTube channel, which I'll show you. Go and here's the link. This is basically all my latest things I've done so far. Any questions on UDK or any like anything on tutorials that you want to ask me about, just send me a message here and you'll and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.